I'm Jaguar.
I'm Pete.
And this is Make Me a Fan. So, being the SoCal wrestling fans that we are, last week, Wednesday, we spent some quality time down in Los Angeles at the Bootleg Theater for...
Bar Wrestling, number 45, you got it, dude.
Number 45, you got it, dude. Which kind of surprised me. It was it's a reference to Full House, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
I didn't get the Full House reference.
So, Joey's got this amazing history of making shows, different themes and names. So,
all right.
They've done Jurassic Park. We'll have to show some of the art. But there's always great art every show, and it's always got some kind of theme. So, like this one was Full House, you got it, dude. I mean, we've done...
I was waiting for like a San Francisco reference or something. I don't know.
No, but we did a Married with Children show. That was
really?
All
right, cool. Well, hey, you got it, dude, and we went, and it was freaking awesome.
Absolutely. I love the building. What do you think of the building?
Dude, I was going to say, the Encyclopedia, as always, takes a bunch of magnificent pictures. We will share those pictures as we go through this recap video. But the first picture we're going to share is the Encyclopedia's perch, if you will. The vantage point of the Pete as he watches the match and he gets his pictures. And I sat right next to him, and I gotta say, man, I dig the view. I really, full disclosure, I've been to 2 bar wrestlings now. One at Baldwin Park, one at Bootleg Theater. I know those are the 2 most popular recurring spots, right?
Correct.
Every once in a while it's somewhere else, but those are the 2 usual suspects. All right.
Absolutely.
So the Jag went to bar in Baldwin Park. It was hotter than Hades. I sweated my ass off, but the energy was amazing. The people were all, there was a buzz, and there was like
absolutely. You are on top of the ring.
Yes, you're right there, and you're right in the action. It feels like you're a part of the action, even though it's hot, and everybody's in it together. It's like arms are linked in this solidarity of heat stroke.
But there's that personal buffer of space. But yeah, absolutely. It's like I stand in this area at Baldwin Park. This is my spot.
But Bootleg Theater, number 1, it has air conditioning.
Absolutely.
Which is nice. I wasn't sweating the whole time. Number 2, it's got some seating. It's got like a bleachers there. And that's where we were, at the top of the bleachers, or near the top of the bleachers, with a perfect view of the ring, which you'll see in the picture, of course. And the only complaint I have, not even a complaint, the only thing I felt separate from the action. It didn't feel like I was part of the action like I am at Baldwin Park. However, I did appreciate a seat, and I did appreciate some air conditioning. So, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between Baldwin Park and Bootleg Theater.
Sure. No, what
do you prefer?
I like Baldwin Park for different reasons. So Baldwin Park is the OG. Okay. It very much feels like PWG.
Okay.
If people had the opportunity to go to Reseda when PWG was up in the valley, it has a very much same feel.
Was it standing room only?
Standing room only. Okay. American Legion, same kind of style building.
Okay, all right.
So that's my PWG feel. And then you have like your studio wrestling feel that you get when you're at the Bootleg.
Yeah.
And yes, there are people ringside, but then you have the seated area. And I really feel like though it's 2 different crowds and 2 different buildings.
And I did recognize a difference in the crowd. And I'm not saying one crowd was better than the other, but I will say there were a ton more women at the Bootleg than there are at Baldwin Park. And it felt like people were dressed maybe a little bit sharper, a little more dapper at Bootleg Theater than Baldwin Park. So I don't know.
Maybe a little hipster-ish for you.
Little hipstery, yes. And I mean, they had
checking all boxes for me. Like this is absolutely. Maybe this is why it's my favorite building.
Well, it had the taco truck outside, so there's food. It was a nice place. I really liked it, and
it's in a great area. It's right near Koreatown. It's a safe area of downtown to be in.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. The view that you have of the ring, your vantage point, I'm just going to call it Pete's Perch, is magnificent, and then my butt will be sitting there next time, right next to you, because I dug it.
Last show before this, Aubrey Edwards was sitting in my spot.
Oh, really?
I gave her slack because she was getting ready to go do live TV that day.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so next one though is going to be at Baldwin Park for Halloween.
Yes.
Now the Jags got 3 kids. I'll be out there saying trick or treat, but you will be there.
I absolutely will be there.
All right. Well, I won't. I won't be sweating on Halloween. I will be walking around with my kids doing craziness.
But they've got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day shows.
I don't know about New Year's Eve, man.
I did it last year. It's amazing.
Really?
Absolutely.
Did your wife go?
No, she did not. Okay. We do have friends. We do go regularly as a group, but this was one of them. They were like, nah, we're okay.
All right.
It was awesome. Right at midnight, everybody stops and it's like, Happy New Year's! And everybody's celebrating and having good. And then the match went back in and Colt Cabana went.
Okay, now you said New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so there's a second show on New Year's Day? So you went back to Baldwin Park?
No, they're going to do that this year. So they're going to do Bootleg first on New Year's Eve.
Oh, really?
And then they're going to do OG Baldwin Park the next day, so you're going to have back-to-backs.
Bootleg seems like the better choice for New Year's Eve because of the atmosphere.
Especially you're also near downtown LA and all that.
Quite true, and it's air-conditioned, there'll be some champagne flowing. Perhaps the Jag might have a little bit of the bubbly, if you will. God, that's so tired of that. But anyway, let's move on! All right, Pete, Trerice, and the Jag are going to give you a recap of each and every match from Bar Wrestling 45, and we're going to start with match number 1. Pete, tell them what we saw.
So we had a trios match to start off with. We had Uptown Andy Brown and Tyler Bateman, also known as Sexy Killers.
Really?
Sexy Time Killers.
Oh, that's the tag team. Yeah,
that's their tag team. Yeah. And then a very now single and the hottest free tag teammate in the world, Ray Rosas.
That almost made me sad. When they said that, like the most eligible bachelor, the whatever they said, it made me kind of sad for him.
And the other thing is like, I kind of like the gimmick for Ray, but really he needs to just go with InXS, come out to the ring with that, and people are just going to have that same reaction, and then we'll evolve from there.
The guy looked good. You know, he did his backflip into the ring. You know, it was awesome. I thought he had a great entrance. I love all three of those guys. I mean, I say that like I'm a veteran. I'm still a rookie to the SoCal indie wrestling scene, but I've seen Andy Brown 3 times now.
Yep.
I've seen Tyler Bateman twice. I've seen Ray Rosas 4 times now. So I feel like I'm getting a feel for their styles and their move set, if you will. And I mean, they're bringing new stuff every week, which is awesome.
No, absolutely. And then there was also then against the Bombays, which is Heather Monroe, Dom Kubrick, and Jake Atlas.
And Jake Atlas. Yeah, superstar Jake Atlas. All right. No, that was amazing. And they had a hell of an interest. You know, when they came in, the 3 of them, they're looking like $1 million, of course.
They're a fine trios team. You'll see some pictures of them as a trios. They are really super in sync. Before Dom was in the team, Ray Rosas was actually in the trios with Heather.
All right, so now they're facing their old partner.
Yep.
Interesting. All right, so one cool thing I really liked about this match was that I got to hear some of the trash talk from the wrestlers. I didn't expect that. Now, sometimes when you hear the wrestlers talking, it's a bad thing. In this case, it was a freaking amazing thing because they were saying, like, you know, somebody would go for a move and they'd block it and they would talk trash. Or they would duck and they'd say, you know, ha-ha, you know, that kind of thing. And it made me buy into the match that much more.
That interaction.
Yeah, I felt like I was part of the action. You get to be involved. And we were, you know, a good, 30 feet away?
Probably.
You know? But we could still hear everything and see everything, and I thought it was awesome. What did you think about the, there's a great picture here. We'll have to share that one. But there's amazing, I'll say, spots in this match.
Sure, absolutely.
Jake Atlas comes in, hits these guys, cleans house with some amazing, I don't even know what to call it. Like, you probably know what to call it.
Yeah, no, and then his finishing move is the LG DDT.
Sure.
Where he does the handspring off the top rope for a DDT.
To the DDT, yeah, but this one he did something like a head scissors takedown.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was amazing. Took out 2 guys at the same time. It was fantastic. Heather had a really cool move. I think she's the one that got the pin at the end. A lot of interesting interaction with, you know, Andy Brown threatening to kiss Heather.
Everybody kissing each other.
Yeah, it was crazy. Kisses all around, but it was entertaining. It ended with Heather Monroe getting the pin on Tyler Bateman, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yes, so the 1, 2, 3 goes to, you said the Bombays? Bombays. All right, I'll take it. Dom Kubrick, fantastic. Jake Atlas, amazing. Heather Monroe, always cool to watch. Cool first match. Got everybody excited. Let us know what we were in for, what we could expect for the rest of the night.
So after that match, I leaned over and I said that's what you would consider like a 4.5-star match.
Oh, yeah, it was solid.
So a lot of the times, if these 6 or any combination of these people are in an opening match at Bar, at Bootleg, it's going to be super hot.
Oh yeah, no, it was fire.
This is top 5 trios match of the year.
Nice. All right. Very good.
And that says something because they actually had a 2-night trios tournament. Which all of them wrestled in as well. But I'm saying, like, Bar is very good at trios.
See, and my whole thing is I'm coming in brand new, just in appreciating what I see. But you have much more background, much more insight, and so I don't realize how good what I'm seeing is. I appreciate it from just a fan standpoint, but you're looking at it comparatively speaking, and it's that much better than what else is out there.
Yeah, looking at it all total breadth and scale.
Yeah.
And understanding everything that goes into it, and actually,
Very cool. All right, match number 2 was our friend back from injury, Eli Everfly, taking on the man...
Big Nasty.
Eric Watts.
props to Watts for being on Raw.
Yes, Watts was on Raw taking a right hand from Tyson Fury. That was impressive.
Watts, love it, buddy.
Good to see Watts on Raw getting that right hand. And then, of course, well, we'll talk about this maybe in a bit, but we got to see your boy, and kind of my boy, hopefully my boy, Mr. Chris Bey, the dashing Chris Bey, Mr. Finesse, the ultimate finesser, got to make his WWE debut on 205 Live, got to wrestle, what's the guy's name? Daivari?
Yeah, Arya Daivari.
Yeah, impressive stuff. Now, I mean, it was pretty much a squash match.
But the reception he got.
And the crowd was chanting Bey. It was awesome.
They weren't cheering for Arya Daivari.
They sure as hell weren't. So that should tell anybody in the back who they came to see or who they wanted to see come out on top. And I mean, of course, we know he's got a story to tell, and the story was Daivari's putting the boots to him, you know? But at the end of the day, Chris Bey looked like $1 million. He sold his ass off. He took some crazy bumps in that match, and he looked fantastic doing it. So if you're freaking Cody Rhodes, if you're freaking, I don't know who runs Impact. William Regal. Oh, NXT William Regal. Yes. I don't know who runs Impact. Any of you guys watching this video, because you know they're all fans.
Absolutely.
They're all fans. You have to sign Chris Bey. Hashtag sign Chris Bey. Because this man is fan-freaking-tastic. And if you don't want to be down with Chris Bey, you don't need to watch this video. Just turn it off and move along, because the Jag and the Encyclopedia are not having it. Chris Bey, fan-freaking-tastic. It was good to see him on 205 Live, and it was great to see Mr. Eric Watts on WWE Monday Night Raw. It was also great to see Mr. Eric Watts in this match taking on Eli Everfly, the high flyer with the longest tongue this side of the Mississippi. And it was an amazing match. Just looking at these guys standing across from each other was like, well, we know how this movie's going to end.
Right, David Goliath. Yeah. And they've wrestled before.
Yeah.
It's always great stuff. And Eli absolutely took Watts to task.
Yes, he did. It was impressive. I will say this. There are a couple of moves in there that I really liked. There was one chokeslam. It was a sit-out chokeslam that I thought looked amazing. But Eli, of course, walked away with the victory. That guy was able to pull it off. He had some great moves, some great counters. A lot of times that you thought that Watts had him, Eli was able to reverse it and come with something that I didn't expect or I hadn't seen before. So it's always nice to see that creativity in the ring where they're telling the story, and we've seen the David versus Goliath thing before. But Eli was like almost like the master of reversals in this thing, you know, and kind of pulling out the victory at the end. It's almost like the Kofi Kingston mantra where it's like, oh, he finds a way to win, even though Kofi's like, what, 6'1", 225, right?
Exactly.
Eli is not 6'1", 225. But it was nice to see that story be told and be told so well with Eli and Eric Watts.
No, absolutely. Again, two of bar wrestling's premier talents.
Oh, yeah.
You just did your Santino brothers. Send them out to say, guys, give us a great match. Eli's going to win. And then, you know what? It's magic, and this is an example of that.
And they know each other well. I mean, they same wrestling school, yada, yada. But it's nice to know that they have that chemistry. They tell a great story. There was, some good, high-risk maneuvers, if you will, off the top rope, out in the audience. A lot of good stuff. Great match. And I think those guys deserve some love. But Eli gets the win.
Eli gets the win.
All right. The next match. Oh, my goodness. It is time for the Pina Colada song to hit, because Joey Ryan and Taya Valkyrie versus Los Luchas. How do you say the name?
Zokre and Phoenix Star.
Phoenix Star, all right. Zokre, whatever. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Feel free to contact the Jag and tell me how to pronounce it. But Los Luchas versus Taya Valkyrie and Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan coming out with the matching fur boot covers, so he and Taya Valkyrie had a similar look that night. Taya looked like $1 million. She usually does.
Absolutely.
And then the music hit.
What a loca.
Yeah, what a loca, yes. And I enjoy her a lot. Like, she was one of the first people I met at the first bar wrestling. She was super cool, and I look forward to seeing her every time. However, this is something I didn't mention earlier. I have no idea what the card is going into this night. I have no idea who's wrestling who. I know who's on the poster, but I don't know how the matches are going to shake out. And because of the way that this venue is set up, the people enter from kind of off stage where you can't even really see where they're coming from. So you don't know who's coming.
Unless you know the intro music.
Unless you know the music. And I don't even know the music. You said NXS. I wouldn't know NXS. They bit me on the butt. All right? But I know Rupert Holmes and Escape, the Pina Colada song, because the Jag is a yacht rock fanatic. I bet you weren't expecting that. I hear the drums of Pina Colada, so I'm like, oh snap, it's Joey. So it's Taya Valkyrie, Los Luchas, and apparently Joey Ryan comes out with the fur-covered boots, and that entrance is $1 million. You cannot watch this man even enter the ring and not smile. I challenge you, it's like Lay's chips. No one can eat just one. You can't watch Joey Ryan make his entrance and not laugh.
Absolutely, and props to my buddy Casey who ended up getting the
lollipop. I don't know how. I mean, you received the lollipop once upon a time.
Absolutely,
and you survived. I don't know, man. Like, and then the chant came out. Get tested. What was it?
So yeah, it's you sick bleep, and then please get tested.
Please get tested. Yes. If you take the Joey Ryan blow pop, you better take your butt to the local clinic and make sure you're good, because that was rough.
So now that you've understood this layer, I challenge you to see the next layer beyond that. Is as they start chanting that, look at Joey in the ring, and Joey's like, no, I really don't. I mean, like he pantomimes to that. So it adds that next layer. So next time you watch, and that chant breaks out, look straight to Joey, and you're going to see. So we're talking about deep layers.
Yes. Well, I mean, and Joey
immersive storytelling. I mean, the guy's amazing.
He's great at what he does. He's a master at what he does.
He's a charisma of 11.
Yes, and he was fantastic in this match. And I think there's lots of good moves, lots of good techniques, lots of high spots, good story being told.
Well, now, first off, Joey stopped everything, and before he made the traditional... He said, these are Lucha rules. And he started chanting Joey Lucha.
Yes, which I didn't know what to expect with Joey Lucha. I was not sure what was going to happen that night. And then, ladies and gentlemen, yes, the Encyclopedia Pete Trerice takes amazing pictures. The Jag sometimes takes halfway decent video. I've got video of Joey Lucha and his Lucha technique, which if you haven't seen it before, watch this right now because it's pretty freaking amazing. Lucha, 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 Lucha. Now that you're back and you watched the clip, Joey's freaking amazing. That was hilarious. I think it was a good spot. And that, of course, led to the finish. We had the blow pop, the attempt at the walk-off. But they ducked, or what happened? I forget what happened. He missed the walk-off.
It was missed.
And it was countered, and Los Luchas walk away with the victory. Now, one really cool thing that happened here, it actually happened a couple times that night. Los Luchas made a couple of moves, some tribute moves to Eddie Guerrero because it was Eddie Guerrero's birthday. So I forget the exact finish of the match, but they pulled off an Eddie Guerrero move, I believe, to sell it, or to lock down the 1, 2, 3. So Eddie Guerrero was definitely well represented that night, and that'll come back again in a future match. But these guys, they had some cool techniques. They had some of the Eddie moves, you know, the
strut.
Yeah, man, and everybody knows. The moment you see that, you know who they're talking about. You know who they're paying homage to, and of course on his birthday, if you're a wrestling fan, you knew it was Eddie Guerrero's birthday.
So what do you think about Los Luchas?
I think they're fantastic.
They are SoCal legends.
Yes, and I saw them at the first bar wrestling, and they freaking blew me away. Those guys killed it.
Absolutely.
I think it was a fatal 4-way or 8-man tag team match when I saw that. It was a couple months ago. I don't remember. And I was like, yo, who are these guys in the silver masks? Because, I mean, we talk about guys that deserve to be signed. Those guys have some freaking talent.
They're SoCal legends. Just like RockNES Monster and some of the others where you're like, wow. I mean,
are they older, younger?
They're... I think in their late 30s. I mean, they've been wrestling for...
Late 30s,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, they've been wrestling forever.
Holy crap, I'd have put them in their early 20s. Those guys move like $1 million.
Oh, they're SoCal legends.
That's legit. Los Luchas, I like your style, and I think you guys are amazing. And I'm glad you got the win, and I love, the Jag freaking loved the shout out to Eddie Guerrero.
Absolutely. And correct me if you guys are younger than that, but you guys have been doing it for a long time, so it's kind of hard to gauge.
I mean, the Jag...
Especially, they're luchadors. They have masks. I can't tell.
Exactly.
I'm guesstimating.
Yeah, they could have been outside having a smoke afterward. I wouldn't know. But that's kind of the point, right?
Next match.
Next match. Oh, my goodness.
So what do you think of Daga?
I thought Daga was fantastic. However, before we get into Daga, I have to say this. Mr. Brian Cage, Mr. GMSI, which I found out what that stands for a couple months ago. I like that. This was a match I was very much looking forward to because I follow him online. I follow him on Instagram, and we had a couple back and forths where I said, hey, man, he was doing a moonsault or something and something. I was like, I didn't see any of that at Bar Wrestling. He's like, oh, I'll be at Bar in October, and I'm back. You know, I'm feeling healthy. I'm going to do some cool stuff. He's
been doing a bunch of the genetics and stem cells and him along with Johnny Mundo.
Yep.
Johnny Nitro.
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio, so yeah.
So I was impressed that he was back, and I was excited to see him, and it definitely happened this time. Now, the man is huge. He's a gigantic side of beef. He's cut, looks like he's carved out of granite. Can't hit on him. Loved his wife. I actually got to meet his wife for the first time this time. And it was a really good time. However, I didn't know anything about Daga. I had no clue about him. I hadn't heard anything about him, and you told me to watch him, and you were right. The guy is fan-freaking-tastic. I don't know what more to say other than he moves like Jagger. I mean, he's fantastic.
I like to say that he's the Renoir of luchadors. He was on Lucha Underground.
That's a hell of a compliment right there.
If Daga was a traditional luchador and had his mask, he would probably be as big as Bandito right now.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of one of those things that's like, I think that's the only thing that holds Daga back, because he has a fantastic body. He's got fantastic.
Is there a reason why he doesn't wear the mask?
No, not that I know of. And Daga let us know, but he's been AAA star for a long time, and so he's been a luchador in Mexico for years, and he's been a champion.
Okay, but the super amazing match. A couple of really cool high spots. Now, I feel like Brian was kind of the whipping boy of the match.
Sure.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, that was the story they were telling. Daga's on the move. He's high flying. He's high energy. He's taking on the bigger, perhaps slower, muscle guy. So, and Daga had a lot of great moves. You saw the Eddie Guerrero suplex.
Yeah, he did three. I did 3 suplexes, and then he got up and gave the
frog splash off the top. Again, more homage to Eddie Guerrero, which was awesome. You saw Brian Cage hit this big suplex from over the top rope, because the guy's strong as a freaking mule. A lot of good moves. And a lot of good back and forth. And you saw, a lot of duck unders, a lot of reversals. I mean, even the little clip that I had that I've shared online, I'll share it again. You see these guys are working at a really intense and a fast pace.
Absolutely.
So I appreciated the effort, the energy, and the intensity that these guys brought to the table, because I was impressed. Not only with Mr. GMSI getting his shit in now that he's healthy, but also Daga, who is the man as far as I'm concerned. He had so many moves and great stuff. And of course, we got the Eddie homage as well. So that was nice to see.
grabs the belt and
yes!
passes it after Nick goes down. And,
I forgot about that
and
part.
And he pulls, so like we're
yes!
Eddie after Eddie after Eddie.
Yes,
so.
yes, that was great.
And then Daga ended up doing a schoolboy roll-up.
Yep.
Beat Mr. GMSI.
Yes, and Brian Cage had to take the L that night, and Daga came out on top, which was fine with me.
This is the second time they've wrestled, so now it's 1-on-1. So
really?
Now they're going to have the rubber match at some
A little
point.
tiebreaker coming up. All right. And I want to see some more Mr. GMSI in action. I want to see some more of those power moves, like that suplex. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Coming up is Bound for Glory next weekend.
Okay.
So
is that live?
So that's Impact's version of WrestleMania. This is their big show.
Where's it at? You know?
It is in Chicago.
Chicago. All right. Well, we're gonna watch it on Axis.
I don't think they're doing that for free. It's a pay-per-view.
Oh, Jack might have to reach into his wallet to see Mr. GMSI do his thing. I think the storyline is that Sami Callihan pile driver or did something to Melissa, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Brian's got something to prove. He's got to put that work in and pay you back for what you did to his woman. That's always a good story.
So I'll have to see on the Impact streaming if the live stuff, if it's like the network where you just pay for Impact streaming, and if you get that, then you get the shows. I don't know. I don't have Impact, so I don't know.
Ever since the old Macho Man and Elizabeth days, you don't mess with a man's woman.
Never.
And Mr. Cage is not to be trifled with. So you mess with the wrong chick, Mr. Callihan. And so enough about Callihan. Speaking of Sami Callihan, after the intermission, there was a certain somebody who just wrestled Sami Callihan not too long ago, and I don't know the outcome of the match, but I heard she looked like $1 million in doing forever. After intermission, we had Miss. She's not married, right, Miss?
Yes.
Miss Tessa Blanchard, which is she's not currently the champion.
Not currently. She was the AAA Women's Champion, and she previously was the Impact Women's Champion.
Sure, but we can just call her the baddest chick watching the freaking planet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she is the best wrestler on the planet, period.
Best wrestler walking the planet.
Period.
Male, female, black, white, purple, Puerto Rican, doesn't matter. She is the baddest person on 2 legs right now, and I was extremely excited to see Tessa Blanchard in her element doing her Tessa Blanchard thing. The Jag was excited. I was probably looking forward to this match the most. In fact, I wanted to meet Tessa Blanchard and get a picture with her after the show. Unfortunately, and the Jag says this with the utmost respect, the match was not what I expected. The match did not live up to the Jag's expectations. And the reason why is the person that she was wrestling, her name is Miranda Alize. I don't know how long she's been wrestling, but it seemed like there was some miscues, a couple miscommunications, things didn't gel or come together as well as we thought they might. And this is not to be disrespectful, but I felt like Tessa Blanchard was not able to shine as brightly as her diamond normally shines. And not because of anything Tessa Blanchard necessarily did. I think there were some miscommunications and maybe a little bit of unfamiliarity as far as working together. Is that fair?
100%.
Okay.
Let me make it up to you in the next episode. We'll watch like what I think is one of the best Tessa Blanchard matches.
Perfect.
If not the best match from last year that wasn't match of the year.
Okay. The Jag is excited to see Tessa Blanchard in her glory, all her glory. And what are we going to watch? What match is it?
It's from Bar Wrestling 11 against Scorpio Sky.
Ooh, okay. Scorpio.
On High Spots.
All right. We're going to check that out. So, after the Tessa Blanchard match, which Tessa Blanchard won, by the way, we had the main event. The main event was Rock and Roll Express versus local SoCal legend tag team, the RockNES Monsters. Pete, tell us why you're excited to see this match.
Jag, I've been a 35-year WWE fan. I'm still a WWE fan to this day.
Good man.
I understand that rock and roll is not part of that, but it is part of 80s wrestling and the stuff that we grew up on.
Of course.
So having TBS, being able to flip NWA on and seeing Punky and Hoot, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hard to beat. The music hit. They came out. They looked like kind of their old selves, and they were doing their thing. I thought there was some good storytelling in the match. They had some gimmicks. When I say gimmicks, I mean they're playing to the audience.
Sure,
and certain
absolutely.
things.
When you see a rock and roll match, there are things you're expecting.
Yeah.
These guys are currently the NWA tag champs.
Which is amazing.
I mean, these guys have been doing it 40 plus years. Almost into 50. These guys are still killing it. Yeah,
no, they look good. They did their thing. They were entertaining.
Absolutely.
It wasn't, obviously with respect to these guys and their experience, and black experience, they don't move like they used to.
Sure.
It was still a great match. It was a good story being told. The RockNES Monsters got to play it up a bit. They got to have some fun. And in the end, as expected, the Rock and Roll Express walked away with the W. So, all in all, it was a solid bar wrestling event. My favorite part, I think, was probably all the Eddie Guerrero shout-outs.
Absolutely.
I love me some Eddie Guerrero, and I liked seeing Daga versus Brian Cage and the whole gimmick with the belt and the suplexes, the frog splash. That was probably my highlight of the night. What was your highlight of the night?
I love the opening trios match stuff.
Ooh, yeah.
But, I'm a sucker for Dom, Heather, Jake, any of those guys. Any of your regular bar wrestling people, put them together. Same thing you said about Eli and Watts.
Mm-hmm.
Bar wrestling to me is a special thing that we get to go to. It kind of feels like therapy.
Well, you know what I saw? And I don't know if you saw this. I should post it up if I can find it again. I read that bar wrestling is the number 4 most watched wrestling promotion in the world. Yes. If you go onto YouTube stats or streaming stats or whatever, WWE, AEW, Impact, and then bar. Now think about that for a second. Joey Ryan and his local wrestling promotion is the number 4.
Second one he's created.
Second one?
Yeah, he created PWG.
Oh, snap. Joey Ryan is gold. Man, Joey. I got a picture with Joey. That was nice. Joey, I don't know if you know who the Jag is, but I want you to know who the Jag is because the Jag is a fan. And together, make me a fan. We would love to interview you, shout you out, whatever. We'd love to be a part of it.
Love you, Joey.
However, I didn't even know that. So that's cool that he's like now 2-time double platinum, right?
That's kind of the whole thing is like people don't understand bar and people make commentary on bar because... Yes, silly and weird things happen that are internet gift rip things that also happen at like suburban fights. That's an offshoot of this. But long story short, Joey has amazing ability to create content, engagement.
Yeah.
This is like what Memphis wrestling was. Like people go like, I don't understand Memphis wrestling in the 70s and all the bleeding and all this. It's the same thing with bar. If like you weren't there, you maybe don't understand it. Maybe it doesn't translate when you watch it on demand or you see pictures. But when you're there in the room and you feel the energy, that room is completely different.
But hey, even the people watching online, 4th.
I know that shows you.
That's above New Japan, my friend.
That's above
Ring of Honor. That's above NWA. That's above a lot of like I don't know, say larger promotions. Joey Ryan has got some gold right here, and this is not to kiss Joey Ryan's butt or his whatever.
It's all these hard-working people that show up every single time, and that includes the ring crew and the announcers, and everybody that puts that show on, and the people. And we also have to thank Bootleg and the American Legion up in Baldwin Park.
Yep,
they are so great to host us, and that's what makes it so magical. Is everybody that wants to be there is building this special community. I can't describe it other than saying, please come out to see bar wrestling so you can understand what we're talking about. Because we met a guy, Velveteen's brother. We'll get the name in down here, but he came from New York.
Okay.
And he got to see bar, and he's only been seeing the indies for like about 5 or 6 weeks. So he's seen some New York shows, but already knows that bar wrestling is the best stuff. And
I mean, look, this sounds like a bar wrestling love fest, and it is, because when it comes to Southern California wrestling, there's something going on every week. But the one thing that we try not to miss, this guy never misses, and that I try not to miss, is bar freaking wrestling. So again, fantastic show. Joey does his thing. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the wrestlers that put in the work, that put in the effort, that put in the time. These guys aren't phoning it in.
No, not at all.
They're putting it on the line. From ring crew, announcers, commentary, and of course the talent in the ring. They're giving 100%.
People want to show out at bar.
Yeah.
This is bar. People give great performances for bar for the reason that it's so high on YouTube.
Good point.
You know, again, I try to explain it that it's like Saturday Night Live, that you've got regular players and then you've got augmented talent, your fly-ins. But man, it's something special.
Serious business. All right. So that's going to do it for our Bar Wrestling 45 You Gotta Dude recap. Make sure that you stay tuned for next week's video. We're getting ready to watch it right now. Tessa Blanchard versus Scorpio Sky, which of course is a bar wrestling match on High Spots. He's going to show me and make me a fan. But if you're watching this video, you made it to the end. First of all, you're freaking awesome.
Thank you.
Secondly, you need to like this video. Then you need to smash that subscribe button, hit the little bell so you know every time.
Drop the bionic elbow, baby.
Oh, bionic elbow on the subscribe button. Bring it, sucker. Because you don't want to miss the next episode of Make Me a Fan. Follow us online, Instagram at Make Me a Fan 316. Twitter at Make Me a Fan 316. On YouTube, Make Me a Fan. I'm the Jag. This is the Encyclopetia, Pete Trerice, and we're getting ready to watch Tessa Blanchard in her element, doing her thing versus Scorpio Sky. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.